Hi, good evening, everybody. I just wanted to go live really quick just to discuss this no fly zone situation. I believe that we're going to be dragged into war with Russia, regardless if, we back away from the whole idea of having a no fly zone. And I think we should agree to it, no matter what the cost, because the blood of the Ukrainian people will be on our hands if we don't help them right now. We need to control the air over Ukraine. And I have a couple of articles I wanted to go over with you. Oops. One second. Okay, so I found this article here and it explains why NATO, including the United States, is reluctant to do a no fly zone. Even though President Volodymyr Zelensky has been begging for one for all these past several days, and so many of the people in Ukraine that they interview that are hunkered down trying to survive, they've been asking for a no fly zone as well. And I feel like everyone goes, well, we don't want to start World War III because if we have to shoot down a Russian fighter jet, then we will, it'll escalate. But I'm sorry, Russia's going to do that anyway. If we help Ukraine with jets, with fighter jets, sending them through Poland, Putin's going to just decide that's an act of aggression and he's going to consider that war. So I think we need to immediately do a no fly zone. In this article, it says President Volodymyr Zelensky and others have called for NATO to impose a no fly zone over Ukraine to counter the threat from Russian military aircraft. For now, NATO leaders have said they aren't willing, fearful such a move could drag them into a broader war with Russia. It's going to happen anyway. Sorry. A no-fly zone is in order to ban aircraft in a specified area. Such zones are sometimes imposed over government buildings or public places for security reasons, or over sacred sites for religious and cultural reasons. The most contentious use is when they are used during conflicts to prevent military aircraft from engaging in hostile actions. The modern use of no-fly zone stems from the Persian Gulf War. After the United States and its allies repelled Iraq's invasion of Kuwait in 1991, the leader of Iraq, Saddam Hussein, used helicopter gunships to quash uprisings at home, killing tens of thousands. The coalition allied against Saddam over Kuwait was unwilling to carry out a full-scale campaign against him. Instead, the United States, Britain, and France imposed no-fly zones over the north and south of Iraq as a limited step to protect against aerial attacks by his forces. Those no-fly zones continued until the 2003 war in Iraq. Critics said the effort lacked legal authorization, and U.S. attacks on Iraqi and defense infrastructure also killed civilians. No-fly zones have been imposed elsewhere. NATO, with the approval of the United Nations, enforced them over Bosnia and Herzegovina from 1993 to 1995 during the Balkans conflict. The alliance did so again in 2011 in Libya, when dictator Muammar Gaddafi was trying to crush a rebellion. No-fly zones can allow countries to take action without committing large numbers of ground troops, relying instead on a comparatively small number of aircraft and supporting infrastructure. But enforcing such restrictions can also involve a significant use of force, including destroying air-to-air defense or shooting down an aircraft. And I know that's why, the US and NATO, they don't want to have to shoot down Russian aircraft and provoke Putin. But I'm telling you, if we send those jets into Poland that the Ukraine needs, we're going to end up seeing this anyway. President Vladimir Putin of Russia has warned that any nation that tried to impose a no-fly zone over Ukraine would in effect be participating in the armed conflict, raising the threat of Russian retaliation. See, I don't know why we're letting Putin bully the whole world and we're submitting to him. Even if we don't want to do a no-fly zone, we shouldn't be out there saying it so boldly. We should just kind of keep that a little bit private and let Putin think that we're willing to do that at any minute. NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg said Friday that its members had rejected a no-fly zone out of fears it could lead to a full-fledged war in Europe. I think that's too late. Zelensky, Ukraine's leader, has said that NATO's refusal to take such a step has given Russia a green light to continue the war. Yep, I definitely agree with that. Oops. And then I have this little clip I found here of Zelensky asking for the no-fly zone.
НАТО. Слабкий саміт. Сьогодні відбувся саміт НАТО. Слабкий саміт, розгублений саміт. Саміт, на якому видно, що не всі вважають боротьбу за свободу для Європи метою номер один. Усі люди, які загинуть від цього дня, загинуть також і через вас. Через вашу слабкість, через вашу роз'єднаність. Сьогодні керівництво Альянсу дало зелене світло для подальшого бомбардування українських міст та сел, відмовившись зробити безпольотну зону. Ви могли закрити небо, але я не знаю, кого ви можете захистити і чи здатні захистити ви свої країни, країни Альянсу. Вільні народи вільної країни.
Free people of a free country, it is already the 10th day of our national struggle, sincere and around-the-clock work. The 10th day is like one infinitely long day and infinitely long night that doesn't allow us to have rest. Today is Saturday. Saturday, the word means nothing during the war, like Monday or Thursday or any another day, they all become the same. We still protect the state, we still save our people, the country does not know weekends anymore. It doesn't matter what time it is, it doesn't matter what date it is, and it will be so until victory. Late at night, I spoke with French President Emmanuel Macron and with President of Poland Andrzej Duda. Our interaction is constant, our conversations are daily. I'm immensely grateful to each of them. I'm immensely grateful to Andrzej for his determination and devotion to our common cause of protection of people. I'm grateful to Andrzej's wife Agata. They are friends whom I sincerely consider friends and sincerely wish to everyone. We managed to prevent a humanitarian crisis at the border. We managed to organize the situation so that thousands and thousands of Ukrainian women and children were treated decently. Nobody asks about their nationality, faith, or how much money they have. In fact, we no longer have a border with Poland, because we are together on the side of good. We do not have time for borders. I'm sure that soon we will be able to tell our people come back. Come back from Poland, Romania, Slovakia and all other countries. Come back because there is no more threat. We are already thinking about the future for all Ukrainians after the war, about how to revive our cities, how to revive the economy. I spoke with World Bank President David Malpass, IMF Managing Director Kristalina Georgieva. We have an agreement among the largest financial institutions to support Ukraine. There is already a decision on emergency aid and tens of billions of dollars for the reconstruction of Ukraine after the war. And these are only the first decisions. I emphasize, these are only the first. I spoke with Turkish President Erdogan. I spoke with the leaders of Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates. I spoke with President of the European Council Charles Michel and the President of the European Commission Ursula von der Leyen. The main topic was the EU membership for Ukraine. I am grateful to Europeans, hundreds of thousands of people in different cities of our continent: Bratislava, Vilnius, Frankfurt, Lyon, Paris, Tbilisi, Prague. They came out yesterday in support of Ukraine and in support of Europe. They came out for peace to be reached as soon as possible. I am grateful to Americans for their unwavering bipartisan majority of ordinary people. We saw the poll. We saw the opinion of ordinary people in America who support ordinary people in Ukraine. We demand tougher sanctions against Russia for aggression already now, for support closing the sky now to save lives of our people. 74% of Americans stand for the no-fly zone. 74%, the vast majority. What else is needed to make a decision? We are sure that the result is similar in other democratic countries. The armed forces of Ukraine bravely hold all key areas of our defense. They are counter-attacking the invaders near Kharkiv, defending the city. They are holding the line in Mykolaiv, Kyiv, Chernihiv region, Sumy region, Donbass. We inflict losses in all regions on the invaders they have not seen in their worst dreams. The Russian army has not reached the planned frontiers. Yet it has reached almost 10,000 Russian soldiers killed. 10,000, this is dreadful. 18-year-old, 20-year-old boys, very young, almost children. Soldiers who were not even explained why they were going to fight, for what and why they are in a foreign land. 10,000. Russia could definitely give these people something else instead of death. The Ukrainian people are resisting even where the invaders managed to pass, unfortunately, but not for long. I admire every Ukrainian who is not silent, who protests, who takes the national flag and shows the Russian military that they will lose. They will definitely lose, because it is impossible to win against people who stop military equipment without weapons in their hands, who refuse to take anything from the hands of the invaders, whose situation is tough and dangerous, but they do not lose their dignity, and will never lose it. And the talks in Belarus, the groups agreed on the first step: to bring back at least 1% of humanity from the normal level. Surrounded cities that are being destroyed and experienced the worst days. Humanitarian corridors must work there today. Mariupol and Volnovakha. To save people, women, children and elderly. To give food and medicine to those who remain. Our help is already on the way. Everyone who needs help should be able to leave, those who are leaving. Everyone who can defend this city must continue to fight, because everyone leaves, then whose city will be? We are doing everything on our part to make the agreement working. This is one of the main tasks for today. Let's see if we can go further in the negotiation process. Let's pray for our military. Let's help our civilians. Let's work for peace. Glory to Ukraine.
So, I really do think in order to get the civilians out of there, they're going to have to at least make corridors, like a partial no-fly zone. And I think it's going to escalate to a full no-fly zone. Hold on one second. I'm going to be right back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Let's see. I'm gonna look at the chat really quick. Casamarine says, "Hi, April." Let's see. Yep, I'm doing well. I hope you guys are doing well too. I'm still trying to master going live, but I definitely want to continue to practice at it. Hi, Ron. Bad idea, very bad idea. Let Europe sort it out. That's the thing. Europe has a bad history of not helping themselves out, and we end up getting dragged into things one way or another. Let's see. Puny. Ukraine shouldn't be our business, but we insist on making it so it all comes back to NATO. Yeah, I really wish, obviously, I wish that Donald Trump was still in the White House today. He warned NATO. He gave Angela Merkel, the Chancellor of Germany at the time, he gave her a napkin and told her that you will be using this to surrender to Russia because they were buying Russian fuel. And he warned that that was such a horrible idea. But I don't know how we're going to look back on the destruction of Ukraine and the slaughter of the people with a clear conscience if we could have done something to help them. That's the issue that I have. I really wish we could set up a no-fly zone, because Russia's just going to keep pushing and pushing. And if we try to deliver those fighter jets into Poland, Russia's just going to call that an act of aggression, and we're going to get dragged into it one way or another. So that's why I feel like we should establish a no-fly zone right now, get it going. I think that would be a great idea. It's not a very popular idea, mind you, but I still think that's what needs to happen, because we're going to have to do it one way or another. Let's see here.